And bang, here we go again with the next exciting spot here at Mosquito Lake. And that is the target fish. So sleeper, ideally in trophy size. You can catch them really well here right now at Mosquito Lake. And Posery already posted 2 entries in the Discord and showed it. Yeah, look at this, man. It's running really well. Several trophies already caught. And the good thing is a sleeper like that also brings in really good silver. It was boosted nicely a few weeks ago. Boosted once again? It had already been boosted months ago. That means you get even more silver now, especially for a trophy. Yeah, and now in this short time, it's already the 2nd trophy. Otherwise, you can see here plenty of perch are also included, and the whole thing on a bait that you can simply buy. So not something difficult like fish pieces, which you first have to prepare. So just here, with worm baits, and with the worm bait, it really seems to run well. I've also cast out the fish pieces for a few minutes now on the 3rd rod just to test if something works there as well. But so far, unfortunately, not really nice. So even on the typical bait, the fish pieces, it's not running as well right now as on the worm. Important, of course, is that you cast properly, but also not too far, because we don't want the perch here, but the sleeper. And if you cast too far, so more back here in this area, then you're much more likely to get perch. If you stay here in this green area at the front, really also here where the grass is, then you clearly notice that there are actually more sleeper there. And exactly for this reason, I've now taken my shortest rods here. So these are really very simple, cheap hazel rods, just wooden sticks and very, very short, so that I don't have to stand back here with an 8-meter long telescopic rod and keep handling it way out there, but instead stay really close to the action here and can see exactly when the fine bite from the sleeper comes, because sometimes they only slowly pull the float down. That can also happen, and then you don't really notice the bite at all. Well, that already looks really good. So Posery here, with 604 grams, the biggest sleeper right now, in the German records at least. It wasn't quite enough for the weekly float records yet, but that could still happen, maybe. Well, look here, here, here. Maybe something will come in over time. So let's see how this develops here. And the next big chunk, oh, what do we have here? Yes, 1 kilogram gibble carp. Yes, we'll take that too. And here we go, straight on. First fish on the fish pieces. And of course, we don't want that. That one is way too small for me here. That means quick switch back to the Nightcrawler. Cast out again, quickly. 3rd setup also cast out directly back into the grass here at the front. By the way, so far, I haven't had a single snag, so no hook has gotten stuck in the grass, and that is really good. I actually even pulled the float straight through the grass here at the front once. Nothing has happened so far. Nevertheless, of course, there is the possibility, it is definitely possible, when you fish this close to the grass, that a bait or a hook can get caught in the grass. But the good thing is, the spot is not far from the base. Same place, by the way. As in the last video, the video about the rare fish here at Mosquito Lake. And there are still some pretty good results. That was from up here. So there are still good reports on the one hand about the golden tench, but also about the Midori and all of that actually on a wide variety of baits. So definitely take a look if you're still searching for some rare fish here at Mosquito Lake. The fish here now, as I said, are more like mass fish. They work almost all the time, especially the perch. In the evening hours and in the morning hours, you even have higher trophy chances for perch. And if you have a spot where the sleeper works really well, meaning where you catch many of them or have the chance for a trophy, then it really pays off. Then the sleeper is even more effective than eel fishing, because with a sleeper, you catch a trophy much faster than large eels with 2 or 3 kilograms. And in terms of price, yeah, I'm curious to see how the price will turn out here at Mosquito Lake. So how much are the trophy sleeper worth? Very important here now is also the depth. We want to fish the sleeper best with a float. That works many times better than with bottom rods. Of course, you can try standing here with a bottom rod and just fish on the bottom, also with the Nightcrawler. But as I said, with the float rod, whether it's a telescopic rod, a Bolognese rod, or a match rod, you have a much better chance of catching the sleeper. And bang, here we already have the next one. Probably a perch though. Oh, that one has some real weight. Come here. Yes, almost in trophy range. Yes, 1.2 kilograms. That's already pretty good. And I think it continues right here as well. Yeah, I think on the one. As I said, it's quite difficult here to really notice the bite. You really have to watch closely, or you just stand here the whole time with one rod and keep the window open. So you can see exactly when the fish actually bites. You notice the perch pretty quickly, but the gobies, when they bite very carefully and only slowly pull the bait down or the float down, it keeps getting difficult. So now there's been something on it again for a while, but still not really biting properly. It twitches and it twitches and it twitches, but it still hasn't really decided, or it has already pulled it down slightly again. Yeah, now, and yes, now it's hooked. And what do we have here? A small goby, yes. So more of these gobies, gladly more trophies. Over here at the front, it's already starting again. Let's see if this increases even more now in the evening hours. By the way, also a fish that you can target the whole day. You don't have to wait only for the night. You can actually try catching the goby here all the time. But it really seems like it increases again in the evening hours, especially now here on 1 and on 2 at the same time. So both with the same bite behavior. You can see it quite well right now, I think. Just this slight twitching, twitch little movement. Yeah, I just have to try it. Just try whether you can already strike when it twitches like that. So that unfortunately isn't worth it. You really have to wait longer, and here it continues twitching again right away. So keep a close eye on it. Exactly. And the moment when the float really goes further down, or when there is a constant movement, meaning when the fish really pulls away, oh, now I have to go to the other one. And that was too late. That's when it pulled the fish. Quickly cast out again, switch back to the other rod. Yeah, this is actually starting to get a bit stressful now. Yes, exactly. So the moment they just pull away, that's when they really bite. Then the float just moves a bit further, and then you can strike. You really have to adapt a bit to the fish and actually pay attention to how the fish behaves. Fish always have their own, and above all, different ways of biting. And that is, of course, super important if you want to become a float angler, that you practice and learn that. Everything else about float fishing, you can find here in this playlist about float fishing, how to take your first steps at the beginning, where you make really good progress in float fishing, and how you can improve properly in float fishing, or what is also worth buying. And what you immediately notice again here, the float that is standing a bit outside right now, nothing is happening there at all. That's why I even pull it in a bit closer again. This is currently set to a depth of 90 centimeters, up to about 1 meter depth. That actually works well too. So we are pretty much right near the bottom here. Pay attention to that. You of course also need a float that has enough lifting capacity. We have relatively heavy bait here. The Nightcrawler already weighs 5 grams plus the weight of the hook we have. That means you need a float here that has enough power to lift all of that. And you can see just now, move the float slightly to the side, and immediately there was a reaction, unfortunately not hooked. And here, maybe as well. Yes, there is even something on it. Perfect. And come over here, the next one of those. Yes, very nice. So sleeper, years ago, really a hated fish because it absolutely brought no silver. Yeah, and now meanwhile, you can actually do really well with it. Worthwhile fish. And if perch come in on the side as well, that's really nice. 30 minutes now at the spot. I'm still testing a bit further though, because on the one hand, I'd like 1 or 2 more perch, and of course, ideally another sleeper trophy because it simply pays off in silver. And if you are actually only looking for perch as a trophy here, then that would of course also be a possibility. Here I would actually go with a 1/0 hook. 1/0 hook plus Nightcrawler works quite well here at such spots where perch are present. Another option is simply here in the area, just cast loosely about 15 to 20 meters. You can also always find perch there from time to time. As I said, especially important morning hours and evening hours. Those are key times. That's when perch trophies come in more often. Yeah, we already briefly looked at the setup earlier, so make sure you don't go too heavy. I'm using very simple rods here with only 6.5 kilograms low capacity, 5.5 kilograms line, monofilament line, invisible in this case, so already a high quality line. And I'm using a size 6 hook here. You can vary that a bit as well. From a size 12 hook up to a size 6 hook, that is definitely possible. If you feel like you're catching too few fish, maybe go one size smaller. Go down to a size 8 hook so you can maybe catch a few more fish. Yeah, and then as I said, just simple with the Nightcrawler, so a bait that you can just buy. Also, always pay attention where you buy the Nightcrawler. It is quite possible that at the first waters, the Nightcrawlers are sold out, especially if you only want 30 pieces. These smaller units can sometimes already be sold out in the shop, and there it starts twitching again. Well, let's see, and hooked, very nice. The next goby, yeah, it's getting late. It's almost 11 p.m. now, and the half hour is already over. I would say I'll take a look now in the cafe, or rather in the fish market, to see what the fish are worth in silver. And then that's basically it, right? So it's really nothing special. As I said, best to go in here with a float. Oh, can we still get that one? No, not that either. AA. And then take a bit of time for the whole thing. Don't go in too hectic so that you can effectively hook every fish, because then you obviously get much more out of it. If you're already standing here the whole time waiting for the fish, then it also has to hook. Yeah, I'm curious what the fish will bring now, the sleeper and the perch. Goby is unfortunately not included here in the cafe, and the perch are definitely all too big for this tiny undersized order. The small sleeper would fit, and I could sell 3 of them now. Yeah, I'll do that. So for 10 silver, those are very small, just barely legal fish. I'll sell them here with the order. And now let's just take a look. What did the bigger fish bring? Sorted by price, and oh boy, 80 silver for such a fish. 80 silver. Isn't that absolutely insane? So if that's not worth it, just on a relatively simple setup. About 40 minutes now, at the spot, and with the cafe order here, made over 260 silver, and that's super simple with a very basic setup without a ground bait mix. That is clearly better than many bream fishing spots. So just go here with a very simple setup and fish for these kinds of fish. It's worth it. If this helped you, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That helps me as well. And we'll see each other in the next video. Tight lines.